My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today I want to look at an article, and it's entitled Jonah Hill's Leaked Text to His Ex Suggests an Emotionally Abusive Relationship. And underneath that, there's a quote, and it says, "This is a warning to all girls." And this is what it looks like, if you couldn't see that. Anyway, not really. But anyway, I want to take a look at that. A lot of people on the internet and all these YouTube channels, of course, are talking about it and doing shows about it. 99.999% of them are not therapists or not mental health clinicians, but they're acting as such. So I figured, well, why not? I actually am a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I figured I would take a look at it. And I think boundaries are important. So let's take a look at this. I need to fast forward this down to get to the good stuff, to what the texts actually say. It says, in a text dated December 2nd, 2021. So right there we have a problem. So we're looking at about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, that we're talking about. These texts are coming from now. The text from Jonah Hill. Oh, by the way, let me just go over this real quick. Jonah Hill is an actor, if you don't know who he is. And he has a good degree of fame, I guess, and some money and some status. And his girlfriend at the time is named Sarah Brady. And I guess she is a professional surfer. And she's a model. All right, now, here's the text from Jonah Hill. It says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, then I support it, and there are no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you are based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Continuing, you're right, we can't do surf social things or develop trust until you consider me and make decisions that give regard to our relationship. I have been vulnerable as possible, and I am telling you I am needing you to step up to the plate, which you can. I am sure of it. But these losers don't get your time if you want me. Straight up, it's consideration. I respect your love of surfing, but I respect myself as well. And your love of surfing and being in those situations and lack of awareness are not mutually exclusive. This isn't me. I have my own issues that I own. And it goes on. Respect however you want to live your life. You only get one. Sort of done explaining myself. She replied, well, let's get to it first. Do I believe that this is abusive in any way? Well, I could tell that he's gone to therapy, right? Like he's trying to use clear, concise statements to express himself. That part's good. And he's actually making his boundaries known, which that is good also. So I don't have a problem with any of that. The interesting part, though, is that he's already in a relationship with somebody who is a model and who is a surfer. So at that point, there becomes a problem. It seems like, obviously from the text, that he has low self-esteem, he's incredibly insecure, he has no confidence. And a lot of times, especially somebody in Hollywood, he does have status and he does have money. But looking at him, he has average to probably below average attractiveness. So he's in a position where he has this high status, but inside he probably doesn't feel that good about himself. And he's been very open about that he is extremely insecure. But sometimes people, and it seems like Jonah Hill is one of them, that he let his emotions get ahead of him. In other words, he had started the relationship, they're in the middle of the relationship, and then all of a sudden he realizes, wow, this girl's a model and she spends a lot of time in a bikini. And lo and behold, there are men who are also surfers. And I don't know, there's probably people who like to watch surfing, and they're probably, some of them are men, and they could see her in a bikini. And he doesn't like her to do modeling, which is something that she does, which of course, I'm sure she does modeling in bikinis. So now he's realizing his insecurities, and the insecurities get the best of him. So now he tries to turn around and be controlling. Now I have a problem with calling him abusive. So if we have a charitable explanation of what he did, it would be just what I said. He let his emotions get ahead of him, and then he realized, uh-oh, I have a problem here. I can't really deal with this situation from an emotional point of view. And so I would prefer a different type of person. Now think about this in terms of, in any profession. What if you meet somebody and they're a cosmetic surgeon? Can a person say, well, okay, we have a relationship, but now I don't want you to do cosmetic surgery because you might have to see people who are nude, or you might have to construct somebody's breasts, for example. Or what if you're any kind of doctor? There's a level of nudity there that they have to see, probably. A nurse, same type of thing. A musician is around a lot of people of the opposite sex, and there could be sexual situations, alcohol, partying, stuff like this. I mean, do you meet a musician and then all of a sudden down the road tell them, I'm a little uncomfortable with this, so my new boundary is that you can't be a musician? It's not abusive, I wouldn't say. But I would say that the timing is really poor. Is that when you meet somebody and you see them and you enjoy them and you start to love them for who they are, you should continue to love them for who they are and want to encourage them to do the things that make them happy. A relationship should not start to devolve into a situation where you're trying to capture somebody and then cage them. And then you try to take them away from something that they love. You should want to see them happy. And in this situation, he's allowed to make his boundaries. But his boundaries are ridiculous for the person that he's in a relationship with. It makes no sense. Now, if you want to have a more of a sinister view of him, which I don't, but I do imagine that some people would, you could say that he doesn't really want a submissive woman. He wants a dominant type of woman, and then gets some type of joy from making her submissive. Now, I don't doubt that there's people like that, of course, but I'm not there to say that Jonah Hill is one of those. I just think that he's a very insecure guy that started to fall in love with a girl that he realized, I can't do this. My insecurities is not going to allow me to be in a comfortable relationship with this person. So instead of just bowing out, he tries to change her whole life over. So that doesn't make sense. Let me read this real quick because I think it's important here. He also says something like, it's a quote. So he says, oh, and modeling, which is the last professional I would be with as a partner. Well, if he thinks that lowly of a model, why are you in the relationship in the first place? Now, I get that if you're in a relationship, you can renegotiate the terms of that relationship anytime you want. You can relitigate it. I understand that, and I think that that's perfectly normal. But again, why would you do it in such a wrong way? Why would you pick somebody that's so opposite of you and then just try to be coercive and to control or manipulate somebody into changing into a different person? That doesn't make sense at all. He also here, and I'm not going to take the time to go through it because it'll probably take me a couple seconds to find it, but he does say he says your loser friends can't spend time with you if I'm around. That is, again, is it abusive? Nah, I wouldn't say it's abusive, but it's a very poor way of speaking to somebody that you supposedly care about. And I don't think that's a good thing to do. I mean, certainly if you're with a partner, I don't think you want to call her friends losers. And I also think it's a little bit suspect when you try to say that you can't spend time with other people if you're with me. That seems really controlling. So all in all, is it abusive? I wouldn't say it's abusive. I would just say that he's using the term boundaries in a way that's really not healthy. He's trying to do it to change somebody's lifestyle, and that would be wrong. But let's talk about Sarah Brady for a second. Is it abusive to release private text to the world? That's a good question. What is her motivation? That's also another good question. I would say if two people are in a relationship, at the very least, you should expect some type of safety and security from that person. You should be able to trust them. The fact that she thought it was okay to release private text messages about 1.5 to 2 years after their relationship, the motivation could only be, it can't be positive. Let's just say that. I don't know what her motivation is, but it certainly can't be positive. There's nothing to be gained by that, you would think. And is it abusive? Well, in this case, I would say if two people are in an intimate relationship, there should be an expectation that their text messages wouldn't be spread all over the world. That makes no sense to anybody. So if I was going to judge that, I would say that Sarah Brady, by releasing those text messages, is absolutely abusive. So let me just finish this up real quick. Jonah Hill, was he abusive? I think that's too harsh of a statement to make. I don't think he was acting in a kind way. I think he was a little bit ignorant of the situation that he was in. I know plenty of guys like this too. They'll meet a girl and they think she's really pretty and they meet her at a club and she's a great dancer and all this type of thing. And all of a sudden they're with her and they say, well, you can't wear those dresses anymore. You can't go out dancing anymore. You can't do these things. Or as a bodybuilder, I know a lot of bodybuilders. I'm one myself. If I'm in a relationship and somebody says, listen, you're just taking up too much time at the gym, you can't work out anymore. It's like, is that abusive? No, it's just stupid. Like why would you be in a relationship with someone who gets most of their enjoyment, their identity, and all their meaning and purpose from what they do, and then you're going to be in a relationship with them, and then you're going to tell them to stop? Like, that's just stupidity. That I don't think that's abusive. Could it be abusive? I think it can. I don't know anything about surfing. I would imagine that they do have surfing contests. So let's say there's a surfing contest on Saturday, and then Jonah Hill hits her with this type of thing of, I don't like you surfing, I don't like you wearing bikinis, I don't like you around men who surf. And he does this on a Friday. Well, then that could be abusive, because then it's specifically done to get inside her brain when there's something really important that's coming up. And so in that situation, it could be abusive because somebody's trying to emotionally hijack them during an important event. And that definitely can be abusive. But I'm not seeing that here. That's not what happened. So I would say that he's not abusive. To reiterate, Sarah Brady, though, introducing these private text messages to the world 1.5 years after their relationship, when he's already in another relationship and they're actually having a baby, absolutely 100% abusive. And I would really caution the next man who gets into a relationship with this Sarah Brady. I would not text a thing to her. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're just saying hello. I don't care if you take it to the level of sexting, because all of that is fair game, according to her, that she's going to put it out there and she's going to start saying that you're abusive and all this stuff. So I think she is the actual worst of the two in this situation. So that's just some of my thoughts. My name is Joe Prodi. This is the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you.